You have a script.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Scale Modelers Across the Pond Hangout. I am your host, Scratch and Jack. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus and Facebook community of scale modelers reaching across all scale modeling genres and mediums to encourage friendships from all around the world. Today, we hope you will find it to be an important source of information about the hobby, hear about something new, and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. I'm not so sure we're going to get a lot done today, but anyway. Joining me today are the usual suspects to help me kill time and doing all these other things. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open. Of course, if you're watching live, then that chat is right off on the screen on the right, I believe, on the YouTube page. So bring your questions, comments, all are welcome today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and suggest about the hobby or about us or about the community, about the builds. Everything is welcome. Everything is game. So just before we get started, this is going to be the last Across the Pond Hangout. Not forever. Too bad. It's going to come back in 3 weeks. That will be January 5th. So we're going to do a holiday hiatus. Actually thinking maybe we should do a live broadcast, but nobody's going to be around. It's going to be the holidays and people are going to be, doing their thing with their families, but I don't know. But in 5 weeks, we'll have the Across the Pond Hangout, but tomorrow we'll have the Sunday Hangout, the last of the year. That will be on the 6th of January, I believe. That'll be right close to so to the Christmas holiday season. And today we're going to kind of kick back a little bit and talk about the past. I think it's important to know where we came from to where we're going to head in the future, particularly when we enjoy our hobby. And as you all are aware that every time you build a model, you do something different or something better or try something new to test yourself, to enjoy the hobby even more. So those are the kinds of things we're going to talk about today. Don't have much of announcements, but I do want to share the current community covers. It'll be on for a length of time. And of course, okay, let's just get this screen shared. I actually, before broadcast time, I had to ask, what is this? That's why it's community cover. It's the Yamato, as I'm being told. I'm not only amazed by the build and the setting and the photography, it looks great. He wanted to recreate a scene. So if you're on the Google Plus page, this is the Google Plus community cover. He was trying to imitate, I guess it was an ad or a graphic of the Yamato. And the one other thought that came across me, we put our models in freezers to pull them apart if we've made a mistake. I sure hope that doesn't happen when he takes this model in and it falls apart on him. But certainly this is a fun build here. And the Facebook community, we have the Racing Volvo. If you've seen the photo set of this, you wonder how did he got it to lean, or is this like real? Is it really racing around a track? Yeah, this is an amazing build, not only for the quality of work, but how he had, this is Mr. Page posted this about a week or two ago. And he did do a photo set. I did save them. And this is going to be also an honorable mention in the video I'm going to be making of the community builds. I'm going to be starting that soon. But it's how I just was left to wonder how he actually did this, because you can see underneath it because it's leaning. It certainly is leaning off the pavement there, and you can see under. He took some pictures. You can see under it, and I just can't figure it out and how he did it. But and that's what makes it amazing. When you look at something and think, how did you do that? And just think of all the different ways. Mm-hmm. So this will be, I'm sure, Jim, you're just aching to say something about this.
Yeah, I'll keep my mouth shut.
That's right. Maybe he held it that way, and just as he snapped the picture, he let it go so you don't see his hand, huh?
No,
I think he's got I've got a few ideas of how you had done that.
Well, but still, I mean, he's done such a good job. You can't see clearly as to what he's done.
No,
So that's my point. I suppose that's like the one on the top of my head. These are this. I'm going to get started with that video soon. So if you want, it's a slideshow video. It's like it's going to be. I'm going to call it a yearbook. The Amazing Skill Modelers Yearbook, and it's going to be on community builds. The community builds that we had this year was Batman and stunt and speed, anything that went fast or broke a record or something of that nature. There was a lot of talk about Evel Knievel, but boy, that was a tough one to fulfill. I don't know. There's also the street muscle and custom car build that we had this year, and of course Star Wars. Star Wars build, something special, something more than out of the box, which I am still struggling with. That's more like adding other genres to your build, such as maybe photo etch or electronics or building a diorama or just setting things just more than out of the box. In a movie, and we're not going to talk about the movie. You all, if you have seen it, particularly in England, which you have at least had 48 hours to have had a chance to see it. Okay, Phil, you better not say anything. But certainly, it's gotten rave reviews all around the world, and only one person I come across. I don't even know who this guy was. Poo-pooed it, but I guess you'll always have that. But these are the builds that we had in the past year, and still not too late to post your pictures either on the Facebook community or the Google Plus community if you had participated, and post your pictures. I will continue to look as I assemble the slideshow. I hope I get through it because there was a lot of pictures, and I'm already looking at possibly like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of video. I'm not sure, but certainly it is going to be extensive. And this is a yearbook, a year of achievement that you guys done. And in the future, starting in January, I thought, of course, we let the cat out of the bag. We already know what we're going to do for next year as far as community builds go. Give you guys a chance to, collect yourselves and decide to do it. One is nautical. Anything that sits in the water. It could be freshwater, saltwater, or even the Yamato would, I think, qualify because it's very naval-like, I suppose.
Well, it was a ship at one point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So naval, and not the one that Mom gave you. We're talking about the Navy. We're talking about boats. And also a wooden build.
Not the one, not the one your mom gave you.
A wood build. I would build this. I would build that, but I don't have the nerve. Anyway, something because that's where modeling actually got started, from my understanding, in England using wood and shipbuilding, especially model shipbuilding in a bottle.
Stone, but they all sank.
Yeah, they all sank. So if you want to combine naval and wood, sure, go right ahead. That would be kind of interesting too. So that would be one build. It was something else, Jim. Wasn't there something else? Oh, real space.
Real space.
You sci-fi freaks. Yes. No, we're not going to do sci-fi, but we're going to make you build something for real, like Jim did on his Falcon, his SpaceX Falcon build, and anything that's real space. NASA, European
EU,
Space Agency. Yes, anything.
Chinese, Japan. Yeah.
Real space, not sci-fi space, but it's kind of catering to you sci-fi people, just so you won't have to build a car. Those are the three builds for 2018, and you have all year to do it, to do them. I found that doing deadlines is kind of silly, but the only deadline there is, do it in the next 12 months till December of 18, and we'll do the same thing.
It's a very loose.
I hope to.
Very loose.
Yeah, it is pretty loose, but I hope to be able to collect pictures from you all to do the yearbook. I was not. I only. This was actually an afterthought. It's like the 8-hour hangout to do this. But so this year I'll get started, and I'll of course go through the year promoting certain builds. We're going to start with naval, and then maybe no, start with wood because that's going to take for some people a while. It's like, oh my God, wood! I got to
Well,
actually cut this
they gotta
stuff.
find a kit and they gotta
Yeah,
order
I
it
gotta get
or
my
pick it up.
Elmer's
Yeah.
glue out. I'm not even used to with the glue. You can't sniff Elmer's glue. I mean, you could try, but you don't get the same effect anyway.
Comes off your nostrils.
Moving forward, I'd like to introduce you to my usual suspects, and we're going to start with Bob. Bob, everything I'm wearing today is from Walmart.
Yeah, there's my ugly sweater.
If
Thanks,
that won't
Bob.
put piano away, nothing will.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. That was very kind of you to think of me in that regard. There you go. There's my ugly sweater up there with my ugly mug. That's actually pretty funny.
Exactly. Working at Walmart. That's pretty much been
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not too ugly because this is a Star Wars T-shirt and a I don't know. It's from Walmart. Aha, yes. Looking at the past. This is what I was going to ask you about your GTOs.
This is
GTOs, yeah, it made my heart flutter. Very nice.
Lovely color.
This is the one I was doing off the grid, but it's been delivered, so. It's the same 67 GTO kit as they did for the cancer builds. They did it a little bit different. Fix some of the flaws in it.
I like the idea of the badge on the display case. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that from year one. It's a pre-production glove box badge. So I'm still working with the candy colors here, and I'm getting better at it, but still not perfect.
Looks good enough for me.
Better than I could do.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to get that finish.
Have you done the foiling? Have you?
Yeah.
Have you done any foiling?
That's foil there.
Okay.
This is all chrome pen, but was I say this one
Oh, pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty build.
They're all plumbed and wired. We got the heater hoses in there, radiator hoses. I made spark plug wires out of 22,000 solder and just painted them with the Sharpie. But that's
You say you did the hoses with solder?
The when we can finally get back here. The big one, the radiator hose, was solder. The heater hoses were ribbon wire that I just took strands from. These two hoses were actually from a strip of ribbon wire that I just peeled apart. You know, you said to see if I can't zoom in on this one. 2200 solder for the spark plug wires. And then like a big old chunk of solder for the doing plumbing work for the make radiator hoses.
Mm-hmm.
Just with the Sharpie that you use to paint them with, gets a nice rubber effect.
And you get kind of almost metallic. Still shows through on it a little bit.
Mm.
And,
Just picking up ideas from the next car build.
it was 2000s. The rosin solder. That's what I use for the spark plug wires.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pretty fine
Yeah.
stuff. But you go up to the bigger because you can bend it and it stays in shape, and you can either just paint it with your regular paint or for spark plug wires. I just use the Sharpie to color it. And this is all probably too small to see, but okay. Working on General Jimmy here, getting him all painted up for my B58.
Is this George is asking about your Hustler build or whatever? I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the B58, isn't it?
there's the pilot, and there's the working on the cockpit. Yep, there goes the seat. I'm kind of stalled on the actual build of that because I haven't decided if I'm going to do wheels up or down. If I want to do wheels up, I got to build the doors. So I'm kind of on the actual model until I decide for sure if I'm going wheels up or wheels down.
Mm-hmm.
Wheels up or down, that plane looked like it was going fast, just sitting there.
Well, you could have it taking off with the wheels up part way through retraction, just to be really awkward.
If I do wheels up, I'm going to do a wall plaque with the lucite rod holding it down, and I'm I have the canopy top open and all that stuff. So until I decide on for sure on that, I'm kind of in a holding pattern on it. 4 hours of build time in the last 2 weeks, so.
Mm-hmm.
Locked up.
No, you're okay.
I'm sorry. Am I talking?
Quiet, and I stopped. And I thought I was going to have locked up.
I'm bringing pictures up and I'm watching the live chat, so I apologize. I'm trying to multitask 3 different ways.
Who's the roommate? You know.
Who's the roommate?
Roommate this week. You have to watch his video. I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm being dumb.
And you'll see you get to meet his new roommate.
A video of yours?
No, Lou's.
Oh, you're watching it.
Lou!
You're watching it.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't watched his latest installment yet. Don't ruin it for me. Like, we're not going to talk about Star Wars. We're not going to talk about him either.
Don't tell them how it ends.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to look, but I haven't had a chance
He
yet.
falls into a rancor pit.
I'd like to. Okay, Bob?
Yeah.
Yes, it's been it for a
Is that
while.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Is that so? That's the build that you liked this past year. I have to say, I like that one, that particular one too, just the same. So that's what you thought your crowning achievement was, at least for the time being.
No, that's just the last one I got done.
Oh, people in the Midwest are so easy to get along with, I guess.
One of the best books of the year was the ME410, the Messerschmitt.
Uh-huh. The Messerschmitt. Oh, okay. Okay. And why?
Because it turned out really well.
Because it didn't turn into a Messerschmitt.
It was just lucky. Okay. I happen to like your car builds better. No offense, but your car builds always get me going because you pick the right car and you do the right color and you right build about it. You treat your car builds something the way I would want to. And I told you in the past that when you're doing an airplane and like you're sitting on a base and you have the pilot, standing in next to his plane and or sit in the car, have your thing about painting figures that you don't think you're good at any, but yet you take these close-up pictures of them. And I told you, I think they fit rather well. So don't think your figure painting is anything odd. I think you have a certain style, artistic style. So shade of yours, your figures and your cars. I don't know if that really matters, but anyway. We're looking forward to either way. Yes, George and Mark. Mark is with us right now on the Hangout, and there's one more spot open if you want to join us for the last of the year to share your past and share maybe something in the future. So we're going to move on to the next one. Next person. Next will be Jim, my friend Jim. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine there, Jack. Yeah, not much in as far as the straight model building as such. I've been playing around with electronics for the build. As of the last show, I think I showed this before. Let's get Greg up here. And go to share.
You're doing the Yamato too, aren't you?
No. I'm doing the Arcadia.
Oh, the Arcadia. Okay.
Yeah. So, because of the way I'm going to do the diorama, I needed a servo mechanism so I can turn the ship. So, this was the first circuit I found, which will operate a manual circuit to operate a servo. And the circuit on itself works perfectly fine, but I need to automate it a bit more than what it is. And the idea was the one suggestion that I'd seen was to use 2 circuit boards and then just using a relay to switch between the 2 positions on the servo. So you have 2 boards, one set up for position 1, one set up for position 2, and then a relay and use an external button to switch it. Now, when I actually built the circuit up here as a test version, the problem I ran into, it has to do strictly with the mechanical limitations on the servo, because it's only getting the pulse. It goes from pulse A to pulse with B for the 2 positions. The servo this is a very fast responding servo, so it's very quickly going from point A to point B at a very rapid rate, and that's not good for a display model.
Just whipping back and forth.
Yeah. So you want it to go slow. So this circuit's not going to do it because I need to be able to sweep the pulse from point A to point B. There I can control the rate of it. So this isn't going to do it. It's just not. And I could build a sweep circuit, but it's going to be a lot more. I'm going to spend a lot more money and a lot more time in that in order to build that.
Not go with an Arduino board.
Yeah. So this is what's going to be. This is just my experimentation board, but I'm going to use an Arduino to do it.
I'm sorry, I'm amused by that, but that's okay.
But
I don't know why I'm amused.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I'm been,
no, it's just when we were talking last night, and I asked what you're up to, and then you pulled out a library.
oh yeah. So going up the Arduino to do this right because I can all do it in code, and it's a lot less.
That's a
And I'm
genuine
not going to
argument.
use this particular board for the project, but this was just my development station. I'm going to use probably the mini, which is a board which is only probably about a third the size of this board to do the job because that's all it's needed. Because I only need 2 ports, so the mini will handle just fine. But I'll do my development here. So I'm in the process of learning code for the Arduino.
Would you stick with the servo or a micro step motor?
Pardon?
Stick with the servo or a step motor?
No, I don't want to do a step motor. I'm using servo. Step motor is going to require a bit more code to do. And it's a lot easier to do it with a servo anyway. So.
And that looks like a genuine Arduino board too.
It is.
Yes, I can tell. There is a way to tell. How much did it put you back?
Well, that cost this kit cost me about $70 for the kit, but this is a development kit, so it's got all kinds of extra boards and different. It comes with a set of different shields and components and that
Okay.
for development. So it's not the board itself. Yeah, Uno you can get for about $25. The mini you can get for about $6. So, the board itself, the actual board itself is cheap. I mean, I went for the development board because of all the accessories and to help with designing stuff, but you don't have to go that route. But that's what it is. But as I was saying about trying to learn, I mean, they give you a project book with it, and that's exactly what it is. It's a project book. They give you all kinds of sample circuits to build.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're doing this, you can use this, and if you're doing this, you use this. But there's no real training in the book as to how to actually write the code. What are the procedures and all this other bit,
Quite a few excellent YouTube channels, Tim, you should have a look at, but there are a lot of them. So
yeah, and a lot of the books that are out there are strictly just like the book that comes with the kit. They're just project books. They're not really explaining what the commands are and what the variables are and how they work. They don't explain that. They just don't. They just give you a bunch of examples. Oh, you can do this with this. Let's make this LED flash. Let's move this motor. Let's, here's a Christmas tree you can build. I mean, it's all stuff like that. And I said, this is silly, and so I went book hunting.
You went book hunting.
I went book hunting, and I actually found 2 basically textbooks. I got a Wiley one and a Sam's one that actually do actual training on the actual programming of the Arduino.
And how does that strike your engineering?
I'm a lot more comfortable with these than trying to re-engineer what they got in the example books because they're not complete and they don't. I mean, a simple thing like how to hook up a push button properly into the circuit and the associated programs. They don't show that. They don't explain it. So I know it can be done. I've seen lots of examples of finished boards where they're done, but these project books don't tell you simple stuff like that. I've learned already. I learned already with the push button where you don't leave the port open for a push button open-ended. It has to be loaded because if you don't, stray signals can make the port faults. So things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
The Jeremy Blum book is very, very good, Jim.
Pardon?
The Jeremy Blum book, the left-hand one, or the right-hand one you had there, is a very, very good book.
Yeah. These are all probably one's a Sam's book,
Yep.
and the other one is an actual textbook. It's made by Wiley.
Yeah, Jeremy Blum.
Yeah, the Wiley one actually it's like a college textbook. It actually gives you each chapter. There's a test at the end of each chapter, so it's like a textbook. So that's where I am with what I am doing right now. Oh, no, the other thing is that I ordered in and got, I don't know how many, a resistor substitution box.
What does that?
Now, this will make selecting your LEDs for your intensities so much easier, because then you can put this in your LED circuit and just dial it in and then read off what the resistor you require to do that.
That would be so handy.
Ooh.
Yep. And cheap. You know, $35.
Hey, Santa.
Yeah.
Now I know what I want in my stocking.
I mean, it's only rated for as 1 watt resistors inside, so it's it's not designed for high current circuits, but for what we're doing, it's fine.
Can you show us how that works? Or
Pardon?
can you show us how that works?
Well, I can.
I mean, it doesn't take a lot of setup. I don't want.
No, it doesn't require a lot of setup.
You just plug an LED.
All you do is you've got 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Right.
and it goes from 4 ohms. Let's say on this row, so it's from the unit of ohms, those 4 ohms, to megohms. In this case, it's 4 meg. So for each switch you put up, it enables that resistor in the circuit. So once you get the value that you want, just add up the switches, and that'll give you the resistor that you need. So, like say in this case, I've got 40 ohms and 200 ohms. So that means that's a 240 ohm resistor that I would need.
Mm-hmm.
So, real easy to use. And you just put them across. The grounding port is meant, because this is a metal plate, so to cut back on static stuff, you can ground this point. But you don't, it doesn't mean the circuit's grounded. It's not. Your actual load goes across these 2 green posts.
And that's called again a what?
Resistor substitution box.
Resistor. Thank you very much.
I mean, there's real expensive ones. You can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on them. But
You
this
just
is
do a search online to find that, or?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got this on eBay, so I mean that's it.
Mm-hmm. Now, does it come with a handy chart that tells me what the stupid little lines on the resistor mean?
No, but there's lots of books out there to tell you, and online charts. If you
Yeah.
can get charts online, there's lots of charts online, and you can get even in the simple. If you've got the dummies electronics book, it has the chart in there too. So a lot of
what I hate is when I can't tell whether this line on the resistor is that brown or is that gold. Is that light brown or is that orange?
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. How come some resistors are brown and some resistors are blue? I mean,
well, that's just the epoxy covering.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what it actually does mean a difference. A blue epoxy resistor is a 1% resistor.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means the accuracy of the
within 1%
resistor is 1%.
Ah, gotcha.
Lou, why don't you just do what I do? Resistor, LED, Oh, that's bright enough. That'll do.
Well, I see. That's why I buy mine all pre-resisted,
Yeah.
and then I buy them by voltage. Okay, this works from 9 to 12. Good.
So,
Yeah, but that's okay if you start from the highest resistor value you have, or rather what you hope you have.
But doesn't that make them dimmer if they're too highly resisted?
so the most important thing to remember is resistance is futile.
Yeah, I know. And there's no place like ohm.
Mhm.
Oh.
Oh.
We can go all day, folks. I could go all day.
So that's what I've been up to as far as present projects. Well,
You got yourself quite a present going into the future. It's like I find it interesting that I'm not even sure what triggered all of this, but you and I have been talking about this stuff only because I've been reviving it because I'm waiting for things from China and still waiting, and I just got to find something to do.
yeah.
But I don't know if I find it interesting that you all your life you're retired, were a technician, a radio engineer, electronics and everything, and all of a sudden you're delving into this again in a very different way, meaning that you're working with servos and something a little different. I find that interesting, don't you?
Oh yeah. No, I've always loved delving into electronics, even when I was a little kid. So I'm having a ball. I love it. I love working with that stuff. So it's not work for me or anything like that. I find it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have to say, though, it's interesting because you held up the textbooks. This is the way I learn. Well, the way I learn is throwing the proverbial darts at the board and see where it lands. And of course, the way I do it makes things overheat and catch fire. Anyway, which is fun in itself.
Yeah, I like proving things on paper first before I actually put the electricity to them, so I know they work in theory.
Like a true engineer. Well, we're gonna revel in Jim's Nirvana over there in Oshawa, Canada. We're gonna go over to near Liverpool. That would be Dave. Dave, you've got a lot to talk about this past year, do you not? And boy, is that an ugly sweater. Isn't helping that sweater very much either.
Oh, sorry. You look like a Santa that's going to mug you.
Have you noticed my tongue swells up as well?
Is that the Enterprise D approaching the galactic barrier there?
Well, I actually thought it was the that thing that but they all disappeared into the future with that thing that went across the sky.
The Nexus?
Actually, it looks closer to the.
The Nexus.
It looks like the barrier from Land of the Giants.
Don't lower the conversation.
Yeah, no, it's been a busy year.
Yeah, I mean, you've got lots to brag about, and rightfully so. So, where are you heading? I mean, where are you coming from? Let's go with that.
Land of the Giants.
No, I think the community builds really just sort of pushed me. It's like what Lou said last time. He says, "Why can't you just build the model?" And it's like, I don't think I can go back to that now.
That pushed you over the edge.
Yeah, but now I've gone that far now that I'm just gonna have to just keep going. I mean, the next one is this guy here.
16 scale.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big. But yeah, I think it's down to the community builds really that sort of pushed me, because the X-Wing, I probably wouldn't have even started that because it's such a massive thing to do. And then I thought, oh, what the hell, I've got it, I might as well. and yeah, furniture making. So yeah, it's crazy. But no, I did new techniques in this one. I use a salt technique, which I've never done before, and also using that snow effects as well. So yeah, it's been a learning curve with it all. And of course the Dukes of Hazzard one as well that I did for stunt and speed.
You don't have to be so modest, mate. We all know that you can take models and expand and make them huge, even very detailed. So take a pat on the back for that, because I could not do that.
Yeah, you could.
No.
You just got to go for it.
Everybody that does these massive dioramas and makes it look easy say, "Oh yeah, everybody can do that."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we build everything like that big. You have to go and do build X-Wing that's like that big.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, I should have built one about that big. It'd have been a lot easier.
Yeah, you know, Dave. I have to point out that you live on an island. You can't get only so big, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I was really happy the way that it turned out. I want to do the Millennium Falcon now.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah. I think that would be interesting to see your interpretation of that too in a diorama setting.
I'll make it into a dining room table. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you don't make movie miniatures, don't you?
I can see it now. The Falcon being chased through the asteroid field under a dining room table.
That's right. And when he sells it, he's going to sell it with a divorce lawyer.
Yeah. It'll not be the either of the 72 scale Falcons. It'll be the Hasbro one.
Yeah, of course.
I'll have to think of something interesting to do with that one. I think.
Or true 5-footer.
Yeah, so you're doing the 16 scale General Lee again. Well,
Yeah.
not again. You're doing a General Lee again, but the scale is different.
Yeah.
And if I gotta say though, you all gotta watch his work. He does. There's a lot of. He's one of the few people I enjoy watching work in progress things on, because he's so meticulous and he explains everything so nicely. And really, I don't know what feeds you as when you go through a build. Maybe you can enlighten me on this. You have this general idea, you get started, and then as it evolves, you evolve with it. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. I'll just go with it. If it wants to do something, I'll just, we'll see where it goes, and it usually turns out okay. So, yeah. I kind of like working like that, especially getting into the dioramas, because the kit is just one part of that section. But then when you come to the diorama, it's a whole new, different thing, and then you can put it all together and see it come alive. So, I don't know if I could just go back to building a kit.
Yeah, that would be. Am I frozen? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, well, that's because I'm trying to issue an emoji on the. See, I don't know what happened recently with my computer here. It's just slowed down the past couple of days. Not sure, but anyway, yeah, I'm really looking forward to everything getting done and seeing more from you. How about what I announced earlier, the naval build, the wooden build, and the real space? What do you think?
Well, my son James has been asking me to do a TARDIS. So build. So I think we'll build it out of balsa wood and that. And of course, it'll be a diorama as well. We'll probably put a jack on so you can sit it on it and have some sound effects and what have you.
And it'll be bigger on the inside than it is on the outside?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What about one of the early Navy rockets and build it out of wood?
Hmm.
Well, that's all three together then.
I really want to, for real space, I'd love to do the Dragon Saturn V.
Yeah, that's a sweet one.
Yeah, that would be really good to do that. Because I think I've just got enough height in here to stand it up and paint it.
I see a theme here. The TARDIS, the rocket, their footprints are small, but they have some height to them. Yes, I see your theme here.
You can fit that Saturn V behind the door.
That's true. That's true.
But he would want
Yeah.
the launch platform, Dick.
Yeah. No, you'd have to build the space center to go with it.
Well, I've seen there's a display case for the Saturn V, and it's got like a picture of all the scaffolding.
If you start to build the gantry and the crawler, then you're going to have a lot bigger model.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, George
flying over it.
George once says Chewbacca chicken.
Chewbacca chicken.
Chicken Chewbacca. Chicken Chewbacca. Chicken Chewbacca or Chewbacca.
There are startup chickens in the new movie, so.
Yeah, I know where he's going with that, but I can't say anything.
Yeah, seriously.
Sounds like a new snack.
Me broadband kicking out again.
That's sort of your mascot. Is the chicken is your mascot? It's just happenstance. The Dragon Saturn V is an awesome. I know. I do want that, but do I want to spend what is it? $200, $300? I don't know.
You need the paper model for the gantry too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he dropped off. Okay. I guess we're done with him.
He's done talking to you.
Yeah. I do want to bring up something here, and this is Kenny Conklin. He's an amazing guy. I'd like to meet him someday. Sci-Fantasy, and he's got, what is this MOTY? I don't understand what that is. Oh, Model of the Year. Okay, that makes more sense. He's running Model of the Year, I guess, online contest through his website, and certainly the modelers that he is coming up with. Now, I have to admit, I got to say that I'm a little ignorant to this. I haven't really. Okay, what happened? There we are. Little ignorant to this. I haven't really. What do you call it? Clicked onto it and taking a look at it. But
Jack, it's basically you send in photographs to your models, they get judged by people, and then you win a prize.
Well, certainly, yeah. I got that part, and I think it'd be best if I didn't join in because people would just laugh at my builds. But anyway, no, he does this amazing job with science fiction and fantasy type of things. So if y'all want to get more of a dose of this sort of stuff, certainly go visit his website and maybe even join in, build something. Take a look at that Y-Wing. Dave, isn't that kind of cool? That's kind of like your caliber kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I was speaking to Oggy other day, and I inspired him to do a little snow diorama on his snow speeder, which I thought was kind of cool. But speaking of Model of the Year, I've got 2 entries in, so get up and sign up and vote for me.
Yeah, I mean,
already
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there was a bit of controversy with it last year because somebody entered the model thinking that he's automatically going to win, and he didn't. Somebody else won, and he was not very happy that he didn't win.
It wasn't the best model competition.
You what, Liam?
It wasn't a popularity competition. It was the best.
I know, but that, you know, it tickled me when I was just reading the comments and what certain people were putting about. You know, at the end of the day, it's what people want. You may be a total novice builder, but if you built an exceptional model that everybody likes, that model's going to win, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the whole idea of it. You're not guaranteed to win because you think there's somebody.
Yep.
You know,
One nice thing that Kenny's doing this year is the Secret Santa thing as well. It might be an idea for next year, Jack. Basically,
I thought about it, but I don't know. That'd be too much. I'd rather have Kenny do it. He's so much better at things like that than I would be. I'm like a he operate the way he operates. It's suitable for him to do. It's not for me. Although I'd love to be able to do it, but I just know that because. Well, shoot, I've been working an awful lot. I've been working at least 48 to 50 hours a week since April, and certainly I don't have the energy to come home and be able to manage something like that. But certainly, it's only a hope. I don't know what's going to happen at work. But long and short of it, I'm trying my best to maybe think of new things and maybe do them. And I mean, you know, it would be, yeah, we'll see you later there, Bob. I don't know. We'd have, you and I have to talk. I'd have to talk to y'all, and because I couldn't do it, but I can't do it by myself. Is what I'm trying to say. So, Liam, you're next.
Yes.
We're going to skip over. We're going to skip over Jamie because Jamie's long-winded. Isn't that right, Jamie? Never mind. We're not going to answer that.
I have nothing to say about having built anything because I'm still waiting for my lighting board to arrive from Texas. And I don't know what the delay is. I'm stuck in a rut and it's affected my mojo big time. And I just can't get into things at all. However, I don't know if I mentioned this before. This is for next year. I managed to get a hold of a set of.
Ooh.
Ah.
Still, oh well. You told me not to use your masks, which they set with the your orange mask. So
that's fine if you like wallpaper.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Liam. At least you got yours. I'm still waiting for mine.
You see. There you go. Well, I got mine sent to someone in the States who then flew over with them.
Yeah, I know. I mean, somebody said to me, "I can get you those, Jamie." I thought, well, where are they, like, you know? Not mentioning any names there, Lou.
Despite Mr. Dalmasso's remarks, I just want to say one other thing with regard to his latest video.
There you go.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
The force is strong with that one. And also my friend up the road in Port Stewart on his runner-up in the Ulster Aviation Society competition. And with regards to next year, Jack, I managed to acquire.
Oh, the Golden Hind. Yeah. Drake ship. Yeah.
I got this for.
Sounds like a porno title.
Is that one of the wooden ones? Or is it?
It's a wooden one.
Yeah, that's a Billings, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a company called Igra.
Okay.
It's
Did
not.
you know, Liam, did you know there's still an actual model over at the cinema in Plymouth?
Right, yeah, true. But I got this for £8 on eBay. But I know there's a reason. The only problem is I don't know if you'll see this. Can anyone read that?
Can't even see it, blurred. What's that? Ah, yeah.
It's not German. Dutch.
Liam, there is
Your German.
Scan it.
Dutch. It may as well be Dutch because I can't read it.
Liam, scan it. Put it through your computer and translate.
Oh, I know all that. That's easy. That's Google Translate. Don't worry about Then
Yeah, picking up on what Lou was saying. Picking up what Lou was saying, when they were trying to figure on the name of that ship, brass balls was too obvious. So yeah, got it.
It shows the vintage of the instructions when you see diagrams like that, which are all hand drawn.
Oh yeah.
And then this is a now it came partially only just so you get this.
Oh, it's a blocked build. Okay.
It does have a.
Got to carve it down.
Yes, I have done this. I did this when I was 17. The last time I did one of these, so it's been a few weeks. So, but it's actually got as well as wood. It has a screw.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else.
It's a mixed media build.
Yeah, it's a mixed media build.
No paper in it unless I do the sales as paper.
Radio and television.
Yes, but it's all this type of thing. It's all sheets of almost like a ply.
Yeah. Ply. Yeah.
So that might be interesting, but for the price I paid for it, very, very happy. So I've something to do your wooden build next exact. There you go. And this is shut as well.
Two stones with one.
Yes. Look, speed. I go up, Randall. I need to do something to combine things. That's me for the moment. But your next hangout would be the 4th of January.
4th or 5th, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
5th.
That's okay. That's great. So that's me for the moment.
I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. That's the 6th. Oh gosh, where are we? The 6th. Boy, I announced that earlier, and everybody's going to look at that and say, "What? Friday? No, I can't do Friday." 6th. Sorry.
Thanks for letting me jump the queue.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Thanks for allowing me to jump the queue.
Allowing you to jump the queue.
You're welcome. No, you're not jumping the queue. We're just ignoring Jamie. That's all. Yeah, but you know what? Come around and do a show every now and again.
Yep.
Boy, that didn't get a raving response. Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
You know where I am. You know
I mean, you're welcome.
Yeah, you know where I am.
You speak up and you can do them, but you just we were just on the live chat here. Ken even says he's on a 50-hour work week too, and he's doing three. Well, Ken, if you're working on 3 kits at the same time and you don't have time to work on them, why are you doing 3 kits at the same time? But certainly there are modelers out there that can relate to what Ken and I are talking about. But I did mention to him, I said, some of you retirees say that you have even less time to work on models because you're retired.
Definitely.
I forgive the Francois, but that's bull crap. It's just, well, you know what? I think we did talk about this, though. It's because when you're working, you're on a schedule. When you're retired, the schedule is kind of open, and then you realize that you're not keeping things on a schedule.
I will admit to one thing, which is I got a copy of Call of Duty for the PlayStation 4. And I've spent far too much time at it, and I'm stuck in a forest in Germany, very frustrated, and I've spent about 10 hours playing the same scenario over and over and over, and I can't get past it.
Just like the Germans. Stuck in the same scenario over and over.
Yes.
And they can't get past it. Or some Southerners.
Yeah. But it's brilliant. I can't complain. It's excellent, superb.
All right, you're more than welcome, and yeah, well, gee, I'd like to be able to chat sometime with you and catch up because you're so busy, you're never around. But anyway, But it's good seeing you, and you're seeing you're doing well. Thank you, Liam, for joining us. And so you can bow out whenever you need to. Whenever you need to.
I'll go now.
Leave the camera on. We'll just take stock of your inventory there. You know, you got all kinds of things going on in the background there.
He's about to be followed.
To be.
Yeah, Ken says when you're retired, every day is Saturday.
Yeah, you know how busy Saturdays are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
My weekends are busier now than my weekdays because that's the time everybody else is off and wanting me to do stuff.
Yeah.
You need to move away and not give your address out.
Well, I'm actually working 3 days a week at the minute as an agency worker, so I can.
Oh, okay. We ignored Jamie long enough. Okay, Jamie, what do you have to say?
A bit of standing new model. Go Christmas present comes bottles. That's about it. I'll see you later.
It's
Nice one.
Now back to the serious stuff. I've been working, as you know, I've been working on the Enterprise. I've now completed the transformation from a completely ruined top to something that is back to normal. But obviously, there's something missing on the front loop.
Have you not, Jamie?
Yes.
Have you not gotten your mail yet?
No.
I sent it out the day after we talked. Hopefully it's in the post somewhere.
Okay.
I did not put the country on it because I didn't know how.
It's UK.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't put that on, but I put all the other Stratford-on-Trent and numbers and stuff.
Yes.
Why can't you just have a city in the street like the rest of us?
What did you put England?
Stratford-on-Trent, Jamie. It's no wonder it didn't arrive.
Yeah.
We have to get in touch with J.K. Rowling to find out his address. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll turn up. I've just got a spaceship at the moment, not an Enterprise. It's a spaceship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you send it out, if it doesn't come, I'll send you another one. Please let me know.
All right, then. Yes, apparently, thanks for the comment about what's the name. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because basically she brought me a model for Christmas and I'm quite pleased.
How do you know it's not Christmas?
Yeah, no, after 2 years, I finally met somebody who's into modelling, actually. Not in a big way, but in enough way. And she got me the Reliant 1567 for Christmas, so which is
Nice.
very nice. Apart from that, I've got a commission job in it. I did post it, but I've never done anything like this. It's not a big model, but I took it on because it was something different. So,
Oh, Shinkai.
yeah, this is the guy wants me to build this for him, and it actually comes with its own LEDs.
Yeah. Well, it's Bandai.
So yeah, again, like Liam's got with his instructions. I mean, it's probably just look at the pictures and do them because they're basically in Japanese.
Yes.
But the parts are good. They look pretty nice, and it fits together, I presume, as they do. And it shouldn't take long to build, but it's something different away from what I usually do. And I've done submarines before, so.
Well, it qualifies as your underwater build.
Yeah.
And it's also real space in a way. It's real.
Inner space.
I mean, I went to see the new Star Wars film the other night, and I mean, a lot of people are very controversial about it. I thought it was good. People are saying Luke Skywalker shouldn't have died. Well, give over, man. He's an old man. But I thought he died in the right way. He evaporated into nothing.
That's kind of a spoiler, Jamie. You shouldn't be.
That's fairly massive spoilers there.
Well,
Those, yeah.
I'm just waiting for the comment to come now.
Use the mute button.
we're not going to talk about the movie, Jamie, and also on the live chat, Jamie working on an Enterprise shocker. That's right, Mark. Just like you working on a Gundam. That's a shocker too.
Yeah, I tend to stick to one Jira, don't I? But I'm hoping, the final part to this now is to put it on the base and finish off the masking, and then she's going to be quite complete. I've had to take the domes off because while I've been respraying the top. But the hardest part of that for me was when I put that final coat on and all the paintwork bubbled on me. I literally had to take the whole of the top surface off and down to the bare plastic and redo it again, which is like a lot of work when you're having to strip it all off, and a lot of sanding. And then you've got to try and get it to match the same colour that you originally put on, because it's a colour I mixed up and I didn't have any left for that top source. So I've had to sort of try and get the quantities right to get the actual match for the rest of the ship. Yeah. Which that was a hard task, because it was kind of like when you mix your own paints up for a certain colour, you can never get it exactly right. So you've really got to play around with it. But luckily, to me, it's close enough. And anybody else that's looking at the ship, they're not going to see any difference anyway, because they're not looking for what I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you either have to mix up a gallon of the stuff when you're starting, or
but I didn't really anticipate having to redo the top saucer.
Yeah.
I tried some new stuff for a finishing coat, and it had a bad reaction with the paint that was on there. And when it bubbles, it's a mess, isn't it? I mean, all your decals get ruined, your paintwork is totally shot. And some people think, oh, I'll just take the top layer off. But then you're working with the possibilities of you got one layer at this layer, and you got another layer of paint at this layer. And to me, it's more hard work, because you go through the processes if you've never done it, where you think, oh, sand that bit there, and that looks great. I'll spray it again now with my air gun, and then you're left with like a level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought I saw it done. I saw all the bubbles on it. It was not to the stage where it was a little bit. It was all over the top saucer, so everywhere had bubbled. So I literally just thought, that's it. I'm taking it down, and I spent hours and hours just taking off that top layer. From rough to medium to very fine to fine to super fine, and then recoated with a primer and worked the way up to what it is at now, back to normal. It's a job I don't like doing, but I've come that far on this Enterprise. I didn't want to just throw it up the wall and say, I'm going to start again.
Jamie, was that a smooth saucer to start with?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a smooth saucer when it started. So that was a help, because...
Yeah, I was going to say, if you had to get into all of that...
No, that was a smooth saucer, because basically I've had to just literally take the layers and layers of paint off.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have all this hate mail, aren't
I just said on the live chat, I don't pay attention to you, shocker. So, I really didn't hear it, and I'm glad, because I'd have to buy a plane ticket, which I'm not very, in the mode to do.
Right. Sorry, guys.
I'd have to get a plane ticket and give you a visit on that
all those people
Harry Potter address that you have, and slap you around a bit.
Reminds me why we broke away from those blighters to start with.
At least you didn't mention the duel between Captain Kirk and Han Solo.
Yeah.
You didn't mention that.
Well, moving on, because we got a lot to cover. We've already been on for an hour, so we got a lot more to cover. I got a challenge for this guy. Here will be a shocker. Do a Gundam, Mark, but made of wood or balsa. How's that?
Oh, no.
Or a tank. Or do another tank kit. There you go. That'll be another one.
I think I'm going to jump out the window if I do that.
I'm intrigued by the wooden Gundam. That intrigues me.
And he lives in the basement, and he's threatening of jumping out of the window. That's good.
I'm not in the basement. I'm in the top floor of my house.
Well,
I'm
jumping
sure.
out of a basement window sounds funnier than jumping out of a second floor window. Okay, what's going on over there, Mister? You've been doing some interesting stuff this past year. You've had some. I think you've had some commissions. I think, but
Yeah.
you've some of your work has been like becoming from exceptional to even more exceptional. Explain yourself.
An unhealthy obsession with paint fumes, maybe. But yeah, just finished Bandai Master Chief. Share the screen. There we go. So,
oh yeah,
what it was before, it just built up, and that's after the paint.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. That's great.
That was a Christmas present from last year from my cousin. So I had to get it done before the end of the year.
Yeah, or else they won't give you anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't build the thing I gave you last year.
Yeah, no, that's I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I'm just waiting for some stuff to come in for the base. Yeah. Yeah, just now working on a Gundam, but a bit different. It's got a full resin conversion kit on it, so all the armor is going to be for basically throw the plastic stuff out and replace with resin.
I mean, obviously, what is the difference? Is it just the more detail in it, or
a lot more detailed? Yeah, and some of the proportions are slightly altered as well.
Made it more accurate.
Not so much accurate because the plastic is accurate to how it appeared in the manga or the anime. This is just a detailed up version.
Oh, okay.
Currently just been painting up the frame.
Right.
Just started on the first batch of resin at the moment for the armor. That's about it, really.
Jamie, I think you made a few enemies. I don't mean to take its thunder away from Mark, but you made a few enemies today. So I'll just give you a fair warning.
Okay.
So yeah,
Hello,
Mark,
the listenings, I do apologize for spoilers. Do apologize.
Well,
too late now.
Yeah, too late now. So Mark, in 2018, you have anything different going on?
It's not a Gundam, but it is a giant robot. So,
wow.
Actually, I've had this for a couple of years now. I've built one before, but that was before I was into airbrushing, and I painted it with rattle cans, which killed it. So I bought another one. So that's going to be my main big project for first few months of 2018.
Hey, Mark, on that Master Chief, the visor is such an iconic thing. How did you handle the painting of the? Did they give you like a foil piece to do that with, or?
There's the visor comes in two parts, an under and a outer part of clear orange. If you build it straight out of the box and don't paint it, they give you a foil sticker for the underside.
Right.
I painted the underside in alkali chrome, and on the reverse of the outer part, there is a pattern for the hex pattern on the visor, which I then went in with a pen and went all over the texture, wiped most of it off, so it makes it stand out a little bit more.
Okay, so you did like a dry brush of the texture.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was wondering that when you think of Master Chief, you think of that big reflective visor.
Yeah, I've got a fairly decent picture.
Yeah.
Visor.
Oh wow!
Actually, for this kit, good friend of mine, David, he works at a paint manufacturer, and he custom mixed the green paint for me because I was having trouble finding the right.
That's a friend to have.
Color. Yeah, yeah. I think I would have probably not got onto it this year if I was having such trouble finding the exact color I wanted.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, excellent. Yeah, the live chat is alive. The regulars, George is there, and Wayne showed up, and also Mr. Mini Dreams. Good morning, Hobby Brothers. I'm on my bench working on some Warhammer. Yeah, everything's moving along over there too. Boy, it's getting daylight. Boy, when I start this show, it's like nighttime.
Yeah.
It's daytime.
Around here, Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would that be all, Mark? Got anything more to add?
No, I mean this resin kit is taking up a fair bit of time, just making sure there's no defects or bubbles or anything like that on it. So about 3 rounds of primer so far on the first batch of parts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Excellent. And I don't have anything really to show here. I thought I had something. Not really. Again, I have to say I was very unprepared today, more than usual. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk to Phil. How you doing, Phil?
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Friend try and phone me, so you caught me off guard again. Well done.
Okay.
Haven't got much at all done in the last couple of weeks, I have to say. So there's not anything massive to report.
You've been refurbishing past builds, and I think that's what I think of about your work in the past year. You've been doing a lot of that, and you've been doing a bang-up job on us. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last thing I've sort of pretty much completed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the X-wing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, build wise, I've done quite well. This Thursday we had night, and I walked away with that.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Do they know you?
For the
Do they know?
Well, no, I just managed to sneak it in my bag. And that was that first was for this Y-wing, the big Y-wing.
Very detailed on that one.
But then, yeah, Bandai, its detail is exemplary.
Mm.
But, yeah, so that's that. Obviously, a bunch of Star Wars builds I've been doing. One thing I wanted to mention to hang on. Mark, did you put in that you were having issues with opening jars with paint?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that Tammy or Mr. Hobby?
Mr. Hobby. My hands aren't very good due to previous treatment. So, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Paint wrenches.
Yeah. Both Mr. Hobby and Tamia. Because one end does Mr. Hobby, the other end does Tamia. And that basically, you sit the... Hang on, let's get it so you can see it. And there we are. Okay. Sits in the gel holder.
Mm-hmm.
It grips the top. Or maybe it doesn't. I think that's the right one, actually. That one goes on.
Yeah.
And straight away,
Who makes the tool?
Right.
It's actually it's a Mr. Hobby tool.
It's Mr.
Tell me
Hobby.
it makes
Okay.
the problem, and then they make the tool to fix the problem.
Yes. Yes.
What do they call it? Paint opener.
Absolutely.
Job security.
I
Yeah.
just use pump pliers, but that's beside the point. Yeah.
Well, I used to use a set of pipe wrenches, and I thought, yeah, one of these days I'm going to put too much pressure and smash this bottle, and they do chew up the lids as well. But
Yeah.
these don't chew up the lids. It's really good. Enough grip and leverage on the jar to
Great. Thanks very much.
get purchased. So yeah, if you see one of those in your local model shop, I think there's something
Local
like
model
10
shop
quid
in
or
the
something
UK?
like that. So
Probably find it.
depends. If you live in
online.
Birmingham, there are actually a couple.
Don't live in Birmingham. I think the nearest hobby shop is about 60 miles away.
Mm.
Right. Although Amazon could be your friend.
Yeah, e-models have them. So
The actual Amazon is closer.
If e-models have them. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Amazon doesn't like US Amazon doesn't like the UK Amazon for some reason.
So yeah, I've had a few extra little deliveries which I shall be working on in the new year.
Oh,
Oh, Slave One.
That's a
Hey,
fun
wow.
kit. That's a fun kit.
And I'm going to start putting lights in these. Also, this one came out.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, I was complaining about how it was £120 for this.
Right.
Is it that much?
Yep, it's the
It's the
fine
140
molds 144.
It's a 144 scale, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Revel had price pointed it at £120.
So
Holy
why is it a limited edition? Is there something in there that's different to the others?
But it's the fine molds one.
Oh right,
Oh,
so it's like the replica
It's got
fine mold one.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's basically rebadged fine molds.
yeah.
Right.
Also,
Um,
I don't think fine molds can make
But I
them
got-
for Revel anymore either. So
really?
yeah, I think
Ah,
it was a pretty much a one-shot deal with that and the 72nd Falcon that they put out.
Right. Okay. So I think I did quite well getting that for 60 quid.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I picked a bunch of these up as well at the pound shop.
Uh-huh.
See, that's
Little-
the way to go.
Little battery powered LED Christmas lights. Which
Already
are,
got your resistor figured out.
yep. And all you have to do is just put them in the model and figure out where the hell you're going to put the battery box,
Or just run the power jack out to it.
or just run the power out to it. Yeah.
You know what, Jim? I think we're barking up on the wrong tree here.
You think so?
I think we're just complicating the plumbing, you know?
So,
yeah, that is an
that-
idea you
that's-
can do. I mean, I've never seen those battery powered Christmas lights until somebody brought them into the office. Well, with the glaring lights in the office, you can still see that they were lit, but they're not very bright. But at the same time,
that's
there's
ideal for a
always-
model.
Right. There's that whole notion of how bright do you make your LEDs? I mean, because some Star Trek kits look like Christmas trees,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to mute those lights a little more. And
And
so, what do
so-
you have there, Mark? What's that, Mr. Hobby Cap? A jar opener? I'm almost 10 pounds. It would be 10 pounds, 11 pounds for
Yes.
including
Yeah.
tax. Yeah.
Yep,
It's
that's
worth
the one.
it.
That's the one.
Probably Mr. Cap.
Well worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I use hot water
Yeah, it's pretty much me. Hot water
and
and
salt.
a little bit of the Tamiya thinner.
Seriously, if you go with one of those, you won't have to bother with anything like that. And sore hands where you've really strained and tried to do it, and the burst blood vessel in your temple and that.
I think that Lou and I are well versed in the cursing department too. So, but that's so that's what you're going to do. Is that the only thing you're going to do next year?
wearing?
Well, I've got loads. There's just loads. I mean, for the real space, I may go for the old, refurbishment. Would a refurbishment count of the old Saturn V from Airfix?
Yeah.
Would that count? Would you say?
Sure.
Yes.
So I could do that.
Sure, it would.
And thank you. Yeah, I haven't thought about the wooden one, except maybe a 1-to-1 scale coffee stirrer, but I think we.
Although that would be a good planking for the ship that you're going to build, right?
Yeah. True. Yeah. Just get loads of them, and then ship or something,
Okay. Is that everything, or you got more?
I think that no, I got nothing.
For somebody who doesn't have anything, you certainly did do some good work there. And you know what? I realized I skipped over Lou. Sorry, Lou.
That's okay. I'm used to it.
Boy, that's an ugly hat. I didn't wear the ugly sweater, but you got the ugly hat. Nice.
Trying to do the entire elf.
Oh, look at that! Oh my God, that is pretty damn ugly.
Wow, that's an elf hazard.
Yes.
Oh.
So you built a room onto your house, and you are now filling it.
I've done the math just as we were talking today, and I'm looking through the old videos. I'm sorry I don't take more pictures of things, but I tendency to put them all in the videos and you get them from there. The grand total is 24 kits for this year, plus big stuff like the door and the chairs and working on the room. So 24 model kits.
Jeez.
And what I'm like what you were saying earlier about I don't have a particular favorite of the things that I've done, but of the techniques that I've built up, I think I certainly have done more figures this year than I ever have, and that's something that I'm not wasn't that familiar with before, and done more metallic finishes. So working that type of thing is something that is new for me. That flying saucer that I did in the Gunstar, those were all metallic finishes, and working with different new paints and stuff. Throwing all that lighting in the Raptor and what I did on the Star Destroyer, that's new waters for me. So I measure it more like that than having any one particular great build that I'm all that thrilled with.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know. I think you've got a lot of bragging rights there.
I did just get this guy finished. So I can grab a cord over here.
Is his picture frozen, or is it me?
No,
Yeah,
it's frozen for me.
It's frozen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. Am I back?
In fact, I clicked off of it. I've gone back to it. Now it's blank. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing all kinds of great stuff.
You're blank, Luke. You're blank.
I don't mean to be.
Turn that what name on
Power
the
cut.
table.
Lose out a power cut.
Yeah,
I paid my bills. You can still hear me.
looks like technology isn't conspiring, because what you're showing is so beautiful, even technology can't see it.
That's it exactly.
Hey, little Luke. Oh, there he is.
There we
Could
are.
say that the Empress
Oh,
was mom.
on again. This guy.
Ah, yeah.
Poosh. Lens flare. Lens flare.
Yeah, a lot of work in that, Luke. A lot of lights.
Now, you got to explain something to me. Tony McCash took a couple of months to do that, and it just took you like a couple of weeks.
Well, this took me about 5 weeks.
Okay.
Off and on to finish it.
Very nice. Very cool.
Well, I don't know what Tony does for a living. This is my day job, so
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. We go right back to that whole thing about being retired.
Those
I got this gen
look
finished.
very painstaking.
Oh, nice.
Iron Giant.
Yeah.
So I can see the resemblance, Lou.
Yeah, I'm so proud.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
He's the elf helper there.
Yeah. He works for. Now you can see my ugly hair that I haven't washed yet today. But yeah, that's
there's a lot of fiber optic in that kit that you've done.
There is, but it's cheap.
Yeah, but the overall effect is fantastic. I mean, to see all that shit lit up like that, it's like it's how it was in the movie, isn't it? It's pretty lit up.
Randall's got it right there. That's exactly what I used, Randall. Except for my base wasn't metallic.
Yep. That's what I intend to use in mine as well when I get around to it.
Does yours cycle through all the different colors of lights and color combinations and all that? Yeah, it sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, but I haven't got the batteries in it to show it or anything. It's just sitting here.
Can I very quickly ask, Randall, where you got that from? Because I've tried pound shops and I can't see that here.
I got that from B&M.
That sounds painful.
No, it's
yeah. It is after you're better.
Definitely needs to see the doctor about it.
Sometimes, yeah, it can be very painful. Yeah. But,
right. Well, we've got a local one in Eddington, so.
B&M, Pound Stretcher, basically all those cheap stores. Especially around this time of the year, they should have them.
Yeah, I'm thinking also the time of year when everyone's going back to school because everyone wants them for their dorm rooms.
Yeah.
And especially after the sales, whenever they're trying to get rid of the Christmas stuff. So.
But the neatest thing about the Star Destroyer was putting the remote switch on it. I've never done anything like that before, so sometimes I just sit here and just click them on and off and click them.
What you should have done was also put in the wee soundboard for a car remote lock, so you know whenever.
Oh yeah, the little. Boop, boop.
Yeah.
That would work.
Oh, now there's a shirt.
Okay,
there's a view.
There's a view. Yeah, look at that.
You get the full glory of the reindeer shirt now. Yes, ugly sweater. Got a reindeer on your sweater? You're just happy to see me.
Some have them blue and others have them red. I just think that's funny. That's very coded. I'm trying to keep it PG. Anyway, is that
it? Yeah, sad to say. I mean, like I said, I don't take a lot of pictures. I'm sorry about that. But look, maybe next year I'll go back to doing more starships. There's a horrible lack of starships on this list.
Yeah, you and Jamie. We're going to have to skip over you too. But I'm actually tempted. To do one, either the TOS or the. My big project for next year. I am thinking of doing a 350, whether it be the TOS or the NX-01. And I'm kind of favoring the NX-01 because you were so gracious and sent me masks for those. For the
it's been a while. They should still be okay.
Jack, what I can say about your choice there would be, you know how you had trouble with the Millennium Falcon engine? Yeah. So you're not going to like the back of the NX-01 at all. It just doesn't fit.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. I don't know what you mean, but maybe someday I will soon. But
the back of it is too like power where the engines are.
No, I did stupid mistakes. I mean, I should have known better. Jim will tell you Jack should have known better because I have the experience. I didn't do it the way you're supposed to.
No, but with
just
that
trying
kit 01, even the reissue, they did not fix that issue with that kit.
Okay.
Oh, you just have to cut those pins off.
I don't know what you mean, Jamie. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
Oh, now there you go, Phil.
But when I get to it, you'll probably hear screams from across the pond. Okay.
Look, everybody, Phil's going to electrocute himself.
There are for that. They are right there in YouTube land. So
You there? Else
Lou looks happy. You know, Mr. Mini Dream says, "Look, Lou looks happy today." Then again, and George says, "Lou looks happy every day." You know what? It's the cannabis that helps. You know,
it doesn't hurt.
Just kidding. Although it's becoming very legal in this country pretty quickly, actually. So yesterday,
I put a
Rebel
little Irish in my coffee this morning.
A lot of Irish. Okay. Well, that would make me kind of sleepy. Anyway. Speaking of Irish, how you doing, Randall?
oh, not too bad, Jack.
Yeah, at least I didn't upset Randall.
That's only because I've already seen it.
Yeah, you have quite a year to reflect on. You've been an award winner.
Yeah, I did pick up a few awards. One of them, at least, thanks to Liam. I wouldn't even have entered the model if it hadn't been for Liam's suggestion. It was the model of the lifeboat that I built last year. Managed to get gold in its class, and sorry, Phil's lit up there. Yeah. As I say, I wouldn't even have thought of entering it. Only yes, forced me into it. But my echoing here. That's a bit off-putting.
Speaking of electrocution, there it looks like Phil is working on it.
This is a PG.
I think I was putting Randall off his strike.
PG. You shouldn't be flashing on the screen like that.
right back at you.
Yeah. Randall, answer me this question, Randall. Which do you like better? And obviously you like both of them. Which do you like better? An award when you've gotten an award for a model that you've put a lot of work in and you're really proud of and you can't wait to show it off, or the award that you get for putting in a model you never thought had a chance and you just did it over a weekend and you weren't under any pressure, but you entered it anyway and it got an award? Are those equal for you, or do you feel cheated by the fact that you spent so much time laboring over something and it only got, it got an award, but the thing you didn't worry about also got an award?
I'm quite happy with either scenario. Obviously, the surprise awards are very nice, but I'm also vaguely surprised I get awards for the one I put a lot of work into as well.
Yeah.
If only because maybe I'm too close to the subject and all I can see are the problems and the faults and things like that. And I think to myself, no way that's going to win anything.
Yeah.
So I put it in anyway, and I'm pleasantly surprised when I get even an honorary mention, or mentioned in dispatches, as they used to talk about.
Right. Because I've taken things to shows that I've spent a weekend on, and it's like, what? And it's like the thing that I spent months on, that turn their nose up and walk away from, and the thing that I didn't spend any time on, when is it? I just can't figure out judging anymore. I just don't know.
Well, I know what you mean. The last competition I was in on Wednesday night, the Ulster Aviation Society one, it's not so much you're not judged by fellow modelers as such. It's sort of like a people's vote sort of thing. So sometimes you could be a bit surprised at that. What actually does win compared to what was entered.
Right.
There was a couple of models there that were entered in the competition that night that had already won golds and first places in various IPMS contests, but never got a mention. never got near third place or anything on that night. So yeah, it's more of a people's vote, that thing.
I like the people's vote things because sometimes they will look past the technical problem if they like the idea or the implementation or the presentation of the thing. And you may see a glue bomb or you may see a runny paint, but they don't mark off of that. They like the attempt.
Yep, the attempt and the subject maybe appeal to them more. Somebody would say love a Lancaster, they love Lancasters, and they would vote for that, even though they say a Phantom that's sitting next door to it is actually a better job.
Right.
It won't get their vote, as it were. So yeah, and I know what you mean.
Mr. Mini Dreams is saying, I think I'm interpreting this right, that some judges they bring different things with them when they go to judge, factors versus builder standards.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
You have to overcome their baggage too sometimes.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, of course, it is a being in a contest. It is a subjective it's being subjective.
This is a case in point. This is a 72 scale Spitfire with quite a lot of work done to the engine here. Probably the interior as well, but I didn't manage to get that in the photograph. And again, that was an award winner at International Plastic Modeling Society shows, but didn't get a mention on Wednesday night. So, yep, popular vote one can throw up a few surprises. This is the first place winner on Wednesday night. It's 32 scale, 2-seat Meteor, and it was converted from the I think Hong Kong Hobbies or Meng.
I don't think I've ever seen wings like that before.
Yeah, with the engines embedded in the wing itself.
Yep, that was the Meteor.
The Gloucester Meteor. Yep. This was a conversion of the single seat, and quite a lot of work has gone into it. It was a conversion set by a company called Fisher, and there was no natural join line between the 2-seat fuselage and the single seat. The rest of it, it had the join line actually crossed a panel. So with a silver finish like this, just trying to get the join line to disappear would have been fun in itself.
Well, that's it. I mean, the familiarity with the kits. If anybody, like when I go to a Wonderfest or I go to another show like that, I know the kits that they're building is like, and I look for the seam line that I know is there. And I'm astounded sometimes, it's like, I'll give a person who is trying to build a difficult kit a bigger break than I will somebody who builds, what I would call a relatively easy kit. It's like, well, anybody could build that and make the seams disappear. But to even try to do this and make the seams disappear, even though the finish may not be 100%, I give them points for effort because I know how difficult that kit is to build.
Yep, indeed.
Well, Mr. Mini Dreams also added that for him, it's safe being a car builder. A car builder judge would have favoritism to say, like being a big Camaro fan and spending minutes to an hour judging a class, but overlooking, say, Mustangs. And I have to say that could be a judge baggage too. But with that being said, Mr. Mini Dreams, if you are a fan of Camaros, you might end up being more critical of that build as opposed to a Mustang build.
Well, I mean, you had that going into IPMS. Even in the last few years, they are very critical of real space, but don't know the Enterprise from a hole in the ground.
Right.
Mm.
Right. And we're talking about the Space Shuttle Enterprise.
No, any Enterprise. It's like,
Enterprise.
ooh, look at that. That's a scale model.
That's a nice model.
Right.
Randall's mooning at us.
Yeah, but I think you guys are hitting it on it. It's like any contest. It depends on who shows up, and that's not just the participants, but it's also the judges.
There's a thing we were talking about one night before, Jack, too. I think that there does seem to be a lot more science fiction appearing in these IPMS contests than there used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be science fiction models.
Because of the age of the modeler, do you think?
Yeah. Yep. Quite likely. I think they were being looked at as toys as much as anything, rather than actual models. I mean, when you look at the effort Jamie has put into his Enterprise, and
and I think there's also such thing as plane fatigue. You could go to an IPMS show and you see 3 tables of planes, and then you look over on one table and you see an Enterprise or a Frankenstein or just something that's different. That's going to draw your eye to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying there. I mean, a lot of people who are not modelers, they just see them as a toy. They don't see the work that's going into it. They just see a model.
It used to be, not so much now, but it used to be even the modelers that are the judges in these competitions would have looked at a science fiction subject and thought,
it's not real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
it's not real. There's nothing it's not. Yeah, it can't be judged against something. In other words, sci-fi can't be judged against something. But as any sci-fi builder would tell you, is that there's canon and then there's the actual model that they used in the film. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you can get as good. You can be as big a rivet counter on a starship as you can on a tank.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's modelers out there that have declared a model unbuildable because the curve on the bridge or something like that wasn't quite right, or
Yeah. Well, there are CG kits or CG models that cannot be translated into actual 3 dimensions. I mean, they were done on a computer and meant to look good at an angle, but you can't do because they were poorly designed, you can't do a physical representation of it.
Yep, even some of the newer ones like the Battlestar Galactica and the landing pods that were supposed to be retractable before.
There's all kinds of cheats that you can get when you're doing them CG and you're designing for a shot versus making a static version of that.
Then you get really cruel CGI artists that make these starships with lights in places that you can never get anything into.
Exactly. Iridescent glows on the sides of ships, like they're followed by searchlights their whole time. Yeah. Followed by little ships with searchlights on them. Then they tell you, well, the metal actually is made from a glowing metal that self-illuminates.
Yeah, right.
While all you are talking about these wonderful things, the live chat is asphyxiated on your picture of the moon.
You mean they're choking it? They're choking on it?
George says you mooned us, and we've been talking about applying aversion therapy to you.
I feel a lawsuit coming.
There we go. Mooning it again.
Oh, it's done it again.
Oh, he's mooning us again. That's a very bulbous moon you got there, Mr. Randall. And he's got craters too. Must have been all the zits popping.
Don't worry, Jack. It's just a phase he's going through.
Oh, I didn't say that, did I? Oh crap! Gee, you know what? You guys realize how restrained I am during these broadcasts.
Just
anyway.
Flip the bird at you.
The bird.
Throw you the bird, yeah.
Speaking of another bird, here we are. Oh, crapola. Well, you know what? We also talked about adding extra things like electronics to there was that Moonraker diorama with the moving pictures inside, and judges. How do you judge a model when that's not real? Well, I think if a judge this way. The kind of judge I would be is, does it thrill me? Is the technique there? Is the subject matter? Is the diorama? Is it thrilling? Is it something? And quite frankly, I don't remember Moonraker, and I think I've seen it. I can't remember even if I've seen it. And when you showed pictures of that, it thrilled me because it was something new, fresh, and the technique was there. It was done very well. That's the kind of judge I would be, like the Spitfire that you've shown. No, nothing about Spitfires, nothing about the engine, but if it strikes me, I guess I would be reliant upon what kind of an emotion that washes over me when I look at a model. And I got to say that's not a very good way of judging, but I think maybe that could be a way of judging, I guess. That's just my thoughts. What do you think? Go purely on emotion and not really knowing anything about anything.
Well, especially when you're doing a diorama, you're trying to paint a story, and it depends how well you're telling the story. That's the way I look at it. If it's just a static model, then all you've got is the static model. But if you're doing it with a diorama, then you're painting a story. And how well are you telling the story?
Yeah, very much like what Dave has been doing, particularly with his Hazard County build that told a very explicit story.
Yeah.
I think it told more of a story than perhaps his X-Wing. A moment in time to me, as opposed to the Hazard County one, because clearly there was a car chase there, and the cars are flying, flipping, and everything. But his Star Wars one tells just a snapshot in time, and that's the kind of thing I would judge things as. Oh, you know what? I'm going to click on to Jamie's image.
Has he again?
He's sleeping again. He's twitching there.
Well, they say there's no rest for the wicked. Apparently there is.
You are, Mike.
I'm sorry we're boring you there, Jamie.
You're not boring me. I just had a really busy late night last night, so.
It's that new girlfriend I've got.
Yeah, sorry, me out.
And okay, Randall, back. I mean, we're just cracking up. Anything else you got there?
Nothing much. A few projects.
Yeah, Liam says that Jamie's asleep. At least he's quiet. That's right.
What is it?
You really disappointed him today, I have to say. Exhausted from all the spoilers. Yeah, he's got that right. George says he should get that checked out. Yeah, well, maybe he should check out. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry, Randall.
Yeah. You're talking about future projects. We have one that I would like to tackle that next year sometime. That is another car.
The Bentley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blower.
Bentley blower.
We've gone to mooing to blowing.
Only you, James. Only you.
I also have the various.
Still frame of a gunner up because that's
Well, I think we all know who mine is in the gutter now.
Conversation tones are flowing.
This is what happens when you script a show for 2 hours.
For our viewers out there, we do apologise. Followers rolling the show into the programme.
Jack's tickled himself.
The main host losing.
You're up, Jack. It's not all bad.
He's gone.
Oh my God! Right on. Only you. I don't know. I think YouTube is going to tag this one.
You have to put a different rating on it.
Oh my God. Handle rambling. Can't dress you up and take you anywhere.
What are you talking about? I can't remember.
Okay, are you done, Randall?
I don't know. Was I?
More like it.
Working on a.
This has been the most chaotic hangout. Anyway.
That's very.
Oh, a little one.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, Wildcat compared to the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're so cute when they're small.
Aren't they? Not so much a wildcat as a kitty cat.
Yeah. It's a litter. It's a litter of little kittens.
That's one of those Japanese company called Sweet that do.
Yeah, that'd be very good if you photographed that as a long distance shot, wouldn't it, Randall? Like a near shot and a long distance shot.
Oh yeah, like a forced perspective.
Forced perspective, yeah.
That's a Japanese company called Sweet. 44.
Comes with a little tiny box too.
Yep, you even get the kitty cats too. You get.
How much do they retail for, Randall?
I can't remember that. I got that one that was so long ago, but I think I've seen them going for like 20, 25 pounds.
You're joking, man.
Wow.
Yeah, for such a small kit.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
One
I think
kit per box.
That's new. Well, yeah. Some of them do 2 kits in the box. That one was just the 1 kit because they provide this extra sprue, which is a section of the carrier deck.
Ah.
Oh.
US Navy version, and also kitty cat deck crew.
That's too precious.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, might just paint these little guys up and just, you know, the way Don Gilchrist populated his bench with kitty cats.
Would that be a litter of kitties then?
That's a litter.
Yeah. Littering your
when you say litter, Lou, I can't help but think it's the state of my workbench is just litter. But yeah, there's that. There's the wee falcon.
Oh.
Is that the Bandai one, Brandon?
Yep, that's the one. Wee Bandai 350 scale, and inspired by what Lou did with his fiber optics and Jack did with his 72. I'm going to use fiber optics.
Not yet.
Light up the engine here.
Mm-hmm.
Just run fibers to the individual exhaust ports in the engine.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There's a few shots.
Those Bandai ones really small. Are they snap clips then?
What's that, Jamie?
The very tiny ones like that. Are they just a snap kit?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much all Bandai kits are snap fit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even their big perfect grade one essentially is a snap kit.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Few parts you probably have to glue just, you know, for security more than anything else. But essentially, everything Bandai does is snap.
Yeah, that sometimes I think takes the fun out of modeling. If it's just a snap.
No, in this case, if it's a snap kit that comes pre-painted, yeah, that definitely takes the fun out of it. But if you're into your painting or your weathering techniques and things like that, the snap fit just gets around the messy part with the glue.
Yeah.
Depends on your taste.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, like snap kit, but when you look at the detail on the sides of that,
Something goes wrong with the lights, you can always go back in and repair it because it's just
it's not glued, it snaps. Yeah. I mean, you could literally put one LED in that and the whole shit, couldn't you?
You could, yeah, you could do it that way. And if you're wanting individual lights anywhere, just run fiber optics to them. But this being the A New Hope Falcon with only 3 undercarriage.
Right. Yeah, they're making the most out of their 3D files for that.
Yeah.
So, that come with a glass on the pilot, or is it just a complete plastic part for the pilot bit?
No, it's just an opaque plastic piece.
Right.
Yeah, they realized how small the figures would be.
Yeah. So they can do it. Yeah. I can see. Yeah.
So A New Hope Falcon doesn't have that much in the way of lighting anyway, except for the engine effects. So essentially, I just thought I would get away with just lighting the engine in it.
Yeah.
And also would be a practice with the fiber optics for the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I mean, with something that small, it can still look good with all the back lit up.
Yep, and with all the exhaust ports lit with fiber optics, I'm hoping to get a nice even glow with no hot spots except for the individual exhaust ports. Because that's the theory anyway. Whether the practice will be anything like that or not, I have no idea. Other future projects, I'm very interested in the real space group build, because I have quite a few subjects there. Everything from Chinese space stations to Apollo lunar rovers. So I'm looking forward to that one. Naval subjects, well, actually, if I get the Discovery from 1901 finished, that would be a naval subject. And also, if I get the shuttle Discovery that I started this year finished as well, that'd be another real space subject. So might kill a few birds with one stone there. But as for the wood,
yeah, everybody's liking your little Falcon there on the live chat. So the 350, yeah, that's a tiny little thing, but yeah. I don't know. I guess it's the fact that it's a Falcon. Everybody likes it, no matter how big or small it is.
As for a wooden subject, I was thinking, seeing as today is Arthur C. Clarke's, or would have been his 100th birthday today.
Yeah.
I think I'll just do a Tycho monolith. One lump of wood polished. And
yeah, you said there's your wood project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would certainly qualify. We won't like you for it, but it still will qualify, yes. Because you thought of it and not us, and you got out of it easy.
It's one piece, but will it be snapped together?
Yeah, might snap down to the base. Or if I apply enough pressure in the wrong place, it might just snap.
Yeah. Building is not the hard part. Is filling it with stars is the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard bit, yeah. And building a wee Ickle Discovery in scale. Bearing in mind that the monolith at Jupiter was supposed to be like 2 kilometers long.
Yeah.
9.5.
yawning because this was from the coffee. I'm feeling very alive right now. I don't know. Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I'm on talking. Jamie falls asleep. Jack starts yawning.
No. I was just making fun of you for being a mooner and a blower. That's all. Anyway, yeah, I mean, what we call Mr. Mini Dreams is saying that he's learned a lot from tank and artillery builders for his weathering, and he watches it. And is it okay we move on there, Randall? You're good?
I'm good. I'm done.
Wayne just showed up, and he's our resident tank builder.
Yeah.
Just like Mark is our resident Gundam builder. I think you swapped out, and I don't think Mark is ever going to touch a tank kit again.
Well, I'm touching Gundam kits.
Yeah, but you've been touching Gundam kits, yes.
Tell me
So
where.
I can't see what you're doing.
Pardon?
You're overexposed. You're like awfully.
Jack, you're lowering the tone again.
Well, that's a little better.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're exposing yourself.
There we go, back to the gutter again.
Show me on the Gundam where the bad man touched you.
That's going to be my wood build, the gutter, yes. Boy, that was a hidden message if I ever heard one.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. Let's try and salvage it, shall we? Right, that's what
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Wayne. I am.
Is that your reference material, Wayne, for the Gundam? Is that your reference material for the Gundam?
That's cool.
That's the instruction manual.
Okay, instruction manual. Good grief! Yeah. Wow. An instruction manual. It's just an instruction book.
Yeah. Oh, it's got. You get halfway through. There's some information about it which I don't understand because it's in Japanese. Typical. But it's like we got all this to do. This is not the small one.
It's like those instruction pamphlets for them Lego sets.
Yeah.
But that's all the decals and dry transfers I've got to put on.
Yeah, good. That's better. No.
What?
You say dry transfers?
Yeah, it's got both wet the water decals and the dry transfers.
Yeah.
Well, you got water slides with it.
Yeah, you get both types.
It's quite rare. Usually it's stickers and dry rubs, I think, with Gundam.
Where are they? I've got the stickers for the eyes and some of the optics.
Is it an either or do you have to use both?
I think both. I don't know if you can see that. There's the decals, and then you got the dry transfers on the front, and you got the stickers for some of the optics.
For a lot of the models, you can order the water slides for them.
Yeah. And hopefully it should look something like that. The best thing about it is you can paint it as you want it, how you want it. So now that's some of the legwork I've done. That took me about 4 hours to do that.
Is there such a thing as a wooden tank kit?
No, but I've seen some cardboard tank kits.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and this is one of my competition builds for my local group, the Chieftain Mark V. Got some ammo boxes, some camouflage netting. That's all. They're all resin kits. That's all resin kit and all that. We've got some leaves, camo netting. Even made the aerials and brass rod painted black. Some tarpaulin. that was one of my builds entries.
That looks good.
Yeah, I've ordered another Gundam kit. I've ordered the 100 scale Gundam Virtue. That's the one with the big, massive cannon on it. £30 I paid for that. From Japan. Free postage and packaging as well. But I did buy something armored wise, but it's not a tank. It is a half track. It's a Panzerwaffe 42.
Oh.
Missile launcher thing?
Yeah, it's one of the new artillery kits, the new release. But this one comes with the rubber band tracks and the single link track, so you got a choice. And
I'd chicken out. I'd go for the rubber band tracks.
yeah, so that's that. Also, I am working on this Abrams as well, but because I can't get the only colour to do comes in a rattle can, which I don't like using, so I've had to make my own. So I've dug out my XF59 and mixed some white in it just to tone it down. So hopefully that should be the right colour. So it'll go through the airbrush. Also, I got one of these, a cutting out stencil for camouflage. So I can make my own masking then.
Wow.
Camo masks. So all you do is put the masking tape over, and then you just cut out the knife, cut with a knife just out the outline, and not your fingers. That's what came. That came 14 days of ordering that. I got it from China. So that's about it. That's what I've done so far because it's all Christmas and everybody's working.
Right.
But also, I get to watch Star Wars free because I work in the cinema. So that's why I waited to the end to join Hangout, so I wouldn't be asking any questions about it or do any spoilers.
That's okay. Jamie already ruined it.
Jamie's never going to live this down.
Nah. He's well, for Liam, he's ruined it. I wasn't really paying attention, but
it was not intentional.
Yeah, always got to be one. I'm going to see it next week.
I heard it's really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing it too myself. Let's see, another message here. Oh, that was another message. Liam left that. Got to get to work. Catch up later. From Mark. And yeah, between you and Dave are coming in and out with your internet.
Yeah.
So that's it. You know what? I did announce Wayne the next year's builds, and unfortunately, the tanks and armor is not a part of it. I'm thinking that just might be for 2019.
Yeah.
But it's what did I say? Naval nautical, wooden build, and real space.
Is an amphibious tank nautical enough?
Oh, sure. An amphibious tank would be kind of cool. Sure. All tanks are cool. So sorry, Wayne. Keep building those tanks. The reason I'm bringing it up is keep building those tanks. I think I find your stuff amazing. And just as it's been mentioned on the live chat, that weathering has been learned from you from the tank. And
well, my other kits have been working. Something else I've been working on. A bottle of rum.
There you go.
That's your Navy subject.
Yeah.
Project. And for the naval nautical, that does not mean, Lou, you build a Nautilus. Okay, that's not the same.
I beg to differ. It's a nautical. It's a submarine.
Yeah.
I got,
It's like a few Navy ships.
Yeah.
You never
That
said
looks
it had to
good.
be real. You said nautical.
Yeah.
All right.
Aeronautical submarine that inspired every submarine since.
Yes. You should call the category nautical, but nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you should be building the Holland 1 then. That's what inspired every submarine.
You could. I'm just thinking of what would a Flintstone submarine look like? It would be a big hollow log with a log sticking out of it for a periscope, and there's your wood and your nautical.
I'll tell you what amazes me, which I don't understand sometimes. You can get any model from America and you can get it shipped over. It's a model, yeah. But if you want something like in this country at the moment, we've got a splash out because of the new Star Wars movies of the BB-8. You can get BB-8s this big, this big, this big, and in America at the moment, you've got a really miraculous BB-8 that works tremendously well. It's the Hero one, and it retails for about $220 odd. It's so close to the real thing; it's unbelievable.
It's still not life size though. I don't like it.
No, it's not life size. But what it does is it's closest you'll get to an interactive BB-8, basically.
That's the one Steve Smith showed in his Smith Model Industries YouTube.
You try to get one shipped to the UK, they won't ship it, and I don't understand why. You just don't get it because it's just basically a remote controlled toy.
I'd rather have one that had limited function but was the actual size.
Yeah.
Rather than having, the perfect one that fits on the palm of your hand.
Well, that one actually is about 18 inches high, isn't it? So it's not that small.
It's still not full size.
No, obviously. Like that guy who builds those RT units, the really big ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, everybody's spending all this money and time on that D'Agostini half-scale R2. It's like, cut the size and, make it full size, cut the functionality in half, and then you've got something. But
yeah, it's what you're spending on that D'Agostini one. You could afford one of those big ones. They're about £450, aren't they, for the big one?
And I would, because you're not going to play with it 24/7. You're going to play with it for a weekend or whatever. Then you're going to sit it in the corner.
Yeah, it's a party piece, isn't it?
But I'm getting old and I want my toys bigger.
All right. I hear you.
Lowering the tone there, boys.
I seem to be going the opposite direction.
Yeah. You're not getting younger, are you?
That's your age, Liam.
Randall's getting younger. Wants his toys smaller.
Only in here.
This is one of my pride and joys, and I'm. It's funny, Mr. Mini Dreams. You brought up the Camaro Mustang dynamic. I'm a Mustang fan, big one, and what I liked about this particular build, I did a very good interior. I don't have an interior shot, but this is actually rattle can. This is Duplicolor. It's actually a Duplicolor color that I'm particularly fond of. This is supposedly the Steve McQueen Bullet for all you fans. I got some painting techniques in here that I try something new on. The chrome wheels, I actually painted over the spokes, and it turned out really good. It made that cheesy chrome that you get in the plastic kits, and it actually looks really good. Because I painted over the spokes just as they're supposed to be. They're more of a brushed metal, and I put What's that? I'm sorry, one at a time?
Your steering wheel is on the wrong side.
Oh, yeah. Well, we drive on the right side of the road, unlike you guys.
Jack, did you strip the existing chrome or did you paint over it?
No, I did not strip the chrome. I just painted over it.
Yeah.
And it's Vallejo paint, and it looks really good. The turn signal I kind of painted in because I lost the part. But at the same time, there are things about this build that I particularly liked and tried something new. The interior, I think I showed Jim, the interior turned out really, really good.
What did you try to do on the interior?
I painted it according to what it's supposed to be, with the black and the silver, brushed silver, a shiny silver. There's a lot of things in there that I spent a lot of time doing, and this particular kit went together really well. I was allowed not to wrestle with a kit. I would see the rear view mirrors are not on this particular picture. I did put them on later, but I was able to concentrate on painting technique, and I think I managed well. In fact, I had painted this, and it turned out the paint was pretty badly done, and I stripped it with the purple pond and then repainted it. So this is a repaint job. So I did a lot of things with this particular build when it comes to paint.
Yeah, I like the metallic colour of that jacket. It's quite good.
Yeah, and Bob really turned me on to say, hey, if you want a real car color, you get duplicate colors. Just go to the car store, the auto parts store, and you can get any kind of color that you want, and it fits what you're trying to do. The other thing that I tried this year that I'm just totally even amazed when I look at it and think that I did that, even though it's a virtual model. And of course, I'm going to brag about my Daedalus again. And this is a photo. And learning 3D modeling was just, it was touch and go there for a while. But finally got the hang of the software and was creating all kinds of incarnations. And this is what I ended up with. And got my elevations.
Reminds me of the Pasteur, Jack.
What's that?
It reminds me of the Pasteur.
Yeah, the Pasteur was based on it.
The Pasteur was kind of based on that,
yeah. But this was the Enterprise before the Enterprise became the Enterprise. But what I particularly liked this build is that it was made up of a bunch of simple shapes.
Right.
And when assembled like this, it certainly has its. And here's the 2D model that I created it from. This is a whole model, and 3D modeling is interesting. And one of these days, once I get the my 3D printer, I will go into splicing it and getting it into a 3D printer and getting it printed. That would be my next phase of this build. And I particularly like the fact that I find things that go on. It's not just pulling it out of the kit, building it, and calling it done. I do like builds that do go on like this. This is one of my favorite ones. What I'm doing right now on the Falcon is certainly not. I'm not having fun. I told Jim last night. I'm actually quite bored with doing the Falcon. I wish I did
your
this.
Daedalus, Jack.
What's that?
I'm still seeing your Daedalus.
Yeah, I'm still showing it.
Okay, I thought you moved over to a picture of your Falcon. I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to be showing a live shot of that, but that I'm just very particularly fond of that build, and that's going to be an ongoing project. Once I get it printed, then I'll get into molding things. Now that I've done some with the Falcon, and maybe even producing a resin kit. So it's going to be a long project. That's what I like about it. Okay, so now I'm a little overexposed here. Okay. Yeah, you perv. Okay. Let's see. Is it going to focus for me? Probably not. What you're seeing here are the burners, and I got it molded. And I think I showed it last time. These are the winners. What I mean by that, I'm going to keep these. I drilled them out.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
And the back is pretty flat. It's not like two-sided. And I ordered 1.8 millimeter LEDs out of the little bulbous thing on the front of the lens that'll fit right into it does fit into this because I had LEDs that I can test it on, but the LEDs I'm getting are cold white.
Right.
And I'm thinking of paint schemes as to how to create this white light with a blue tinge to it, or a blue something. Somehow blue is going to be a part of it. It's not going to be a straight blue light. I'm still waiting for those LEDs. It's been 2 months now. Apparently they got lost. But over here, let's move my mic away. Here are all the duds. So there's a lot of duds there to experiment with as far as painting and lighting. So it took a while to get the fine art of molding these things and making copies of them. Here's the mold. This is my better molds. Overexposed. Sorry. All right. It is. But what you see here is I'm building the casing for it from styrene. And I'm thinking my way through this and how I'm going to do this. Talked to Jim a lot about this last night and what procedure I'm going to use. But I'm going to probably take a little bit of license in doing it. I don't think this is the kit is actually canon, if you put it that way. I don't think, but that's me. I don't know. I'm going to take a little bit of license just so that I can get this together. But that's where I'm at. I was hoping to be done with the Falcon kit this weekend. But as you all know, when you schedule your builds to get done, they don't get done for whatever reason. And for me, it was, yeah, it never happens. It was, to me, it was getting the LEDs. Let me get me zoomed out again. This is turning, I don't want this to be like the Daedalus build. Daedalus is just more fun. This has just been painful. This has been very painful. And I don't have the time to put as much time as it is I want to put into it. But looks like that's going to change soon. That's where I'm at, and I am looking forward to doing the community builds for next year. I already have this. I can actually double this as my nautical or naval and space, real space, because this is the Apollo 11 recovery kit.
Gee, that's coincidental since you're the guy that sets the categories.
No, I just noticed that
this just came out of my eye. Yeah, I just didn't know.
Well, you guys are talking about building wooden obelisks and stuff. Come on. I just noticed that, but I'm going to, I think this is a full haul. I might make this into a diorama, and no, I'm not going to double it over. That wouldn't be fair. Although it's a thought. I really want to do the Pioneer, not the Pioneer, the Voyager probe.
Yeah,
is what I have to do. Gets the Haswaga, whatever kit that is.
Hasagawa.
There you go. I'm gonna look that up, and no matter what it's gonna cost me, I'm gonna get that kit. I'm gonna do that. So that's what I'm thinking of doing for real space. But this would be for wood. I'm kind of open. I'm thinking of going to the hardware store, getting those little balsa flyers with a rubber band.
Yep.
At least
it works.
I'll go fly.
It's a plane.
That would work for you there. That would work for you, Lou.
For me, it's a plane.
But that's where I'm at, where I've been, and where I'm about to go. In tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to have the Sunday Hangout, and in 2 weeks we'll have 3 weeks. This is going to be the 6th and 7th of January. Now I got corrected during the show that 6th and 7th will be the start back up for the new year. So taking the break for the holidays, you won't have to look at me anymore for the next 3 weeks. Got to look at your family members. You got to look at your family members. I don't know what's worse, me or your family members. So anyway, anything else you guys got to add before we call it a quit? A wrap?
I think we're done. Anything else major we can include tomorrow night. So
very good. 2.5 hours, kids. 2.5 hours. So we did a good job in boring everybody. And I got to say, we've been consistently 2 digits watching. People have been watching us. But anyway. And I'd like to thank everybody over at the live chat. Thanks, George, for showing up. It's been a pleasure seeing you, that you're alive and well and doing your models. And same with Liam, having had stopped by. Mr. Mini Dreams, first time on the live chat. Thank you for stopping by and sharing. I hope you felt part of the main show as I was bringing up stuff that you were bringing up. That's very interesting stuff that you've been. And Ken, yes, Ken, you have a great holiday season too, and thank you, George. It's been a fun show. As you think it's great, I thought it was a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow too. And also, who else stopped by? Bob stopped by. Liam, Mark even stopped by. Wayne stopped by. And thank you, Dave, for showing us your taste in sweaters.
Or lack of.
Or lack of. And keep those builds coming. Jim, thank you for stopping by too. We'll see you tomorrow. And Jamie, I got nothing to say to you, Jamie. Thank you for stopping by for your enrichment of your room that you added on, and of course, Phil, keep it going. And thank you for stopping by also. And Randall, clean up your act a little bit, and also. And so anyway, this is your host, Scratch and Jack. Yes, I'm going to hurry to wrap it up because it's been a long time on this show. It's been chaos. We'll see you tomorrow on the Sunday Hangout, 7 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and most important,
have fun.
Most important, happy modeling.
Good day.
Okay, so long.